Hey guys, welcome to today's video. My name's Kat. As always, thank you for stopping by. As you may have noticed, today I am going to teach you how to make a Hocus Pocus book similar like this. I made this book, I don't know, about 5 years ago now. I have a deep love for Hocus Pocus, and after I did not get the ColourPop Hocus Pocus palette, I was devastated, and I was looking at this and I thought, you know what? Maybe I will DIY this for you all, so you all can have a little bit of Hocus Pocus in your life too. If you didn't get the palette, but if you did, I mean, congratulations, good for you, awesome. So this is a really easy make. It looks complicated and complex. It is not that bad. This is my interpretation of the Hocus Pocus spell book, and I will teach you how to do it, so stay tuned for this. A couple of things you are going to need is an old textbook. This particular one was actually an old Grey's Anatomy book. I can barely open it. It's an old Grey's Anatomy book, an old medical book. It's got a whole bunch of stuff in it. I got it out of the bin for 25 cents at Value Village, but you can find other textbooks. I've got another this is the one I'm going to use when I show you guys how to do it. This is just a psychology textbook that I also got out of the bin at Value Village for $1. You are going to need a hot glue gun and glue sticks, and a fair bit of glue sticks. You're going to need paper towel. You're going to need white school glue, eyeballs, and when I mean eyeballs, I mean I have a jar full of just random eyeballs for things. So I'm going to take an eyeball. It might be this one actually. That one's really cool. And I've got other eyeballs, little eyeballs, and ping pong ball eyeballs. But you can also make an eyeball, and that's what this one is. This one's a made eyeball out of a styrofoam ball. So if you don't have any eyeballs just rolling around, you can always use a styrofoam ball and just cut it in half and paint it. And you're also going to need a hemp-like rope to kind of make the stitches on here, and molding clay, plasticine, Play-Doh, or that Fimo stuff to kind of make all of this kind of stuff. As you can see, this one's really old and it's starting to kind of fall apart, but I thought I'd remake it for you guys so you all could see how it was done and maybe try it yourselves, and then obviously tag me in it and comment down below if you tried it or not. Awesome. Okay, well, I guess so what I've decided is I'm going to use this eyeball for my book. It was like a bouncy ball at one point, a bouncy ball eyeball, and I've cut it in half. I use a serrated knife. Those are like your typical bread knives, and those work really well to cut things like rubber and foam. So this is the book that I've decided. I've got a reference photo on my phone. You can print it or you can take a screenshot from the film if you want, and I've decided that I'm gonna put my eyeball probably about there. It looks to be kind of in the middle towards the opening side. This eyeball is a little bit big for what the spell book actually looks like, so I mean ideally you could use a smaller one too. I just want to use this bigger one. Like this little guy probably would be sufficient as well. Yeah, so basically same thing, just cut it in half, whatever you have. Make sure it is as flat as you can on the back. And I'm gonna take some glue and glue that on there where I want it. So once again, if you are a minor, you may want to get your parents to help. I'm just going to kind of stick it there. And then to make these kind of like stitches and things on there, you can kind of see them. What I'm going to do is just kind of make a glue line from there and make it pretty big. And as you can see, that will all be lifted once you put the paper towel on it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. That's the fun part about it, is it does not need to be perfect at all. The less perfect, the better. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to continue kind of just giving it the look I want. And if you want, you can go over your glue gun lines as well after they've dried and bring them up more and give them more of like a three-dimensional kind of look. Okay, so once you've got it to like a point where you kind of like it, this is what mine looks like. And I put a couple layers on, like there's probably 2 layers. You can always add more after, but this is kind of where I'm at. And I kind of like that. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some school glue, white glue. I'm using the Acrylic Kids white glue. And I am going to, actually I should mix that with water. I usually mix it with water, so just hang on a second. So I'm just going to mix it with water just to dilute it just a little bit. Because you don't need it super tacky. And also I'm going to take some paper towel and just start pulling it in pieces just for now. And I've taken a paintbrush that I know I'm okay with throwing it out. Because glue, you can clean them afterwards, but it takes a long time for glue to come out of paintbrushes. So I'm just going to put glue all over this, not on the eyeball itself. So just be cautious of that because I'll show you what we're doing with it. And just make sure you kind of get everything covered like so. And like I said, it does not have to be perfect. This is kind of the fun part about Halloween. Nothing is perfect. Not everything is better, kind of a little bit off kilter, off, you know, off-centered, off-sided, whatever. So I'm taking my paper towel and I'm just going to rip it into square pieces. And I'll just kind of start in the corner, if you can see that. And I'm going to press it down and make sure you get the paper towel on either side of those grooves that you made with the glue, and you can kind of give it a little bit of bunching at the bottom, and you know, a little bit of movement is always nice to kind of, it gives it a skin-like texture. And if you notice that it's not sticking down, you can take a little bit more glue and just tack it down. See how nicely that lays? See how like the skin texture is starting to kind of come through once I do that. I clearly had red on this paintbrush before I did this, so that's all right. So you see how it's really nicely laying down on either side of that glue, and you've kind of got the where the stitches are gonna go, kind of that area. I'm gonna put another layer on just to show you. There, and I'm not covering the eye at this point. Like, you obviously can get right around it and make sure you've got it covered with the paper towel, but you don't need to cover it at this point. And I'm just going ahead and putting a little bit more glue on it and just covering that with the white glue. Building props and building set decorative pieces is actually what I do for a living, and this was just a fun project I made one year, and I thought I would share it with all of you. So you're doing this and you're going to cover the entire book, and once I cover the entire book, I'll come back and I'll show you how to do the eye. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another kind of slice of paper towel, and I'm gonna make some eyelids here. So what I'm gonna do is ever so carefully and try to tear in like a strip, and we are gonna make like eyelids. And I know this looks funny right now. I promise you it does get better. Maybe we'll do the top one first. So I'll just take that bit off. And with the eyelids, you want, so if you look at like your, if you look at like your or a friend's eyelid, you will notice that it doesn't like, it's not like this. It's not like completely tight to the eyeball itself. You have a little bit of room like in the corners. So that's what I want you to do, is I want you to just make a little bit of room in the corners. Obviously that failed there, but like, try to pull it back. There. So yeah, just kind of make it so it's not super tight. You might want to put a couple of layers on. Just like that. It might take some fiddling, that's just part of it. Take another kind of strip and just kind of line it up with it, kind of like, you don't want it too small, you don't want it too big. I mean, it is up to you, but I just kind of prefer my eyeballs to be kind of even-ish. I would do the spine as well, so we'll go ahead and do that. It's not a, this prop isn't a book that you're going to be able to open up. If you wanted to open it up, I would recommend something completely different. But since we are doing it this way, I thought we would just go ahead and make it super easy for everybody. So So once you've got it to where it's pretty dry or just a little bit tacky, I just trim the excess off. This kind of dried up a little bit, but I kind of like it. It kind of looks like a skin flap. So there we go. We've got it trimmed off. And I am gonna mix some paint. So I've just got a lid, a random lid that I don't need anymore, aren't gonna use. And I'm gonna take some brown, some acrylic. So I'm just gonna take a nutmeg brown. It kind of looks like that. It's just a folk art nutmeg. And I'm gonna put a good, come on now, hopefully it's not super dry. I haven't used all my acrylics in a really long time. So I just have a nutmeg brown acrylic. It's a folk art one, but you don't have to use this particular one. You just go get a brown that you like. It's kind of the only, I have a couple, but this one I kind of like. So we've got, I mean, it's going to be a good amount, I get it. And I'm also going to take just a little bit of this Deco Art Crafters acrylic. It's spun gold. I think, yeah, spun gold. And I'm going to add just a little bit to there. I'm also going to add a little bit of neon green acrylic. This is also a Deco Art one. I like kind of the mud look for this, and I haven't added too much of that. This is just a bright yellow acrylic. So I'm just going to add a little dollop of that just on the very top. It looks like a really bad smoothie. And I'm going to take that same brush, and it is kind of stiffened up. And I'm just going to mix all those colors together. And hopefully it gives me kind of like a muddy, woodsy brown is kind of what I'm going for. And that's kind of what I got there. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit that book with it. And to me, it looks like there is a whole bunch of different colors of brown, which there probably is. And we can kind of mix and match later. So I'm gonna go ahead and just mix some more color. Like, I like where it's going, but I'm not satisfied with it. So should I take nutmeg again? Yeah, I'll take the same brown, kind of start with the same base. And then I'm gonna add, this is a black metallic, it's a sequin black. I'm not sure what it's gonna do. We're gonna try it. So it's like highlighting and contouring a face in a way. We are going to just hit the lower spots with the darker color. And it's okay if you hit a little bit up here, don't cover it. And I just tap it in. So thank you guys for stopping into part 1 of the Hocus Pocus spell DIY build. I will see you guys in part 2, and there might be a part 3 as well. So far we've got a book, we've glued it, we've put paper towel on it, and we've painted it. And in the next part I'll show you all the little kind of fancy knickknacks and things like that we're going to put on it. So thank you all for stopping by. If you missed it at the top of the video, my name is Kat, and we'll see you guys again soon.